A-A-Y. A-A-Y. Not A-Y-Y. Well, take that, person who donated $400.
Imbeciles! Fools! Nincompoops! Can't you idiots do anything right? According to this, your track record for spreading evil is pathetic! Ooka ooka, it's not our fault that wretched Bandicoot is to blame. I will not. Crash Bandicoot, my old nemesis. How the heck are you?
Woo!
Unlike games like Crash 1, Crash 2, where you're using hob sliding and whatnot off edges to make it through quicker, PS2 was a bit more basic. There's not that much movement text, so you are going to literally be spamming the circle button, and in case this controller does break, I did bring another one. It's more likely than you think. Alrighty, let's go. So this one's probably the easiest level of them all, not too much here. I've killed myself many a times here just by being a complete twat. It's more likely than you think. And you're going to see me jumping a lot. My movement isn't that optimal to the world record pace, mainly because deaths in this are extremely costly, especially in the later levels where checkpoints are so far, like spaced so far apart. It becomes quite a pain. And getting the sliding right. As you can see, sometimes I'm going into like a mini crouch. We ideally do not want that. But it all comes down to how quickly I press the circle button. And look, halfway through the run, you're going to notice me slowing down because it gets so tiresome and painful in my hands to do this. Alrighty. Fun fact for those of you who don't know, since we're coming through here, if you ever want to life farm in this game, like farm extra lives, those mammoths, if you kill them, they grant you an extra life. Look, no downside to it aside from the fact any mammoth enthusiasts out there might be quite upset with you. Oh, and those warp gates, they're quite fun. Anyway, that's the first level out of the way. And thankfully for the first warp, it's not too heavy on the platforming levels, so my thumbs and whatnot won't get too much of a workout, but still, it's not too bad. Oh, and during these loading screens, if I'm not saying anything, feel free to just plug whatever. So coming up here is one of our first full vehicle levels. There's 3 of them that we do in the run. This is probably the easiest of them. It's simply just hold X, don't stop firing, and that's what it is. And basically, once that goes, go to the next one. It's simply just an auto scroller, and it doesn't get much more optimal than this. So yeah, any donos or anything, feel free to just take over from here.
We currently don't have any donations at the moment, But if you would like to donate, you can donate at donate.ozspeedruns.com. We're doing this for Child's Play, a charity dedicated to improving the lives of sick children through the power of play. Also, DesPenguin has put in an incentive for, he's going to give away a PAX keychain to anyone who donates locally and guesses how many minutes of load time he's going to have through the run.
And I'll be closing that basically end of the second boss, start of the third wall.
To avoid mass $1 donations, should we put a minimum on that? Or
I guess if you can just write down who it is and the minutes they guessed,
yeah.
that will probably be it. And look, if there's any other messages you guess, you can just read them out. I don't mind. There is a lot of loading in this game. It's when basically we time this. We've got IRL time, but at the end of it, we do take off a fair amount of time to get to world record, or to get to whatever we're running at words. All right. And those cutscenes as well, depending on the frame in which you skip them, that can also save you seconds. The more it's loaded, the more it's going to deload. It's very weird how they've optimized this game, especially in other versions of the game. Some of it's unfinished, some of it's unoptimized, especially the final boss in the PS2 version. He doesn't even have a health bar. You're just literally guessing how many hits until it's over. All right. So moving on, this is our first Atmosphere levels. This is one of the few good parts of the game in terms of speed-wise, because you just run, you can just go very quickly, and there are a lot of cool skips you can do, like this one coming out right here. There we go. Alrighty. And coming up here, we've got another skip. Because I have the mask. There we go. That's death number 1. If anyone wants to keep count of those as well, by all means. Alright. There we go. That's skip 2 or 3. And there's one more coming up here. The main thing about this Atmosphere, the mechanic, is it carries momentum. It is a pain of a thing to control. And it actually is used in the first boss fight of the game. And I cannot stress enough how painful it is to control. It might look easy from here. I don't think I'm making it easy, but it is quite painful to do, especially in the earlier levels. Later levels, it is just unforgiving. All right. And we've got a nice little coming up. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Saved. All right. That's that one out of the way. Those warp gates can be extremely finicky as well. One of the recurring themes in this game is the hitboxes. They're extremely inconsistent. And I mean extremely. You could go straight. I've had runs where there's been nothing past the warp gate, and I've just slid straight through it, killed myself, and lost about 2 or 3 minutes. It's so much fun. Alrighty.
We have a somewhat conservative estimate in my surmisal of 16 minutes of load screens by Shrog. It was a $3 donation. Thanks, Shrog.
Pretty good guesses. Keep them coming. To give you guys a rough idea, because it's different for every single platform, because you can run this on GameCube, 360, Wii as well, just using the GameCube disc. But to give you guys a rough idea, 100%, you can, when you take out loads, you're looking at about an hour and a half worth of loading time, which is absolutely insane. Alrighty. And this is also one of our first chase levels. There's one of these in every single warp, almost. And this is the easiest. Yeah, I could say tied for first easiest. Just main thing here is just to keep sliding and chaining those slides and avoiding the nitros. I want to keep this mask. I do not want to lose it because I will not get another one, and I need it for a skip for the level coming up. All right, smooth sailing from here. And you might see me in this as well, taking a lot of the safer strats instead of going for... I know this is a marathon, I'll show off some speed strats where I can. But in the case of like something here, optimally, you would go straight through those wizards. But like I said, I don't want to lose this mask. So I'm just going to detonate that nitro, kill them, and just end the level.
We got a donation from Craiglebagel that says, "Please don't read this out. I'm in crowd."
All right, and this is one of the last cutscenes, and it's a shame because Roku is, if you listen to his voice lines, they're actually quite fun. I think he's the funniest out of all of them. So I think one of my favorite ones, I think, is on the lines where he tries to like egg you on. He's like, "You want to fight me? Do ya? Do ya? Do ya?" It's I know, I just find it so childish and stupid. It's beautiful. Coming up as well, this is just mainly an auto scroller for this, so if you got any donations, anything you want to plug, do we have any more incentives coming up? I don't think we do we? The only thing interesting about this auto scroller is just that path I took there. It's shorter by like a second, and it saves time, and it's just, this whole thing is just swerving back and forth and dodging the nitro. And like I said, there's still a threat of me losing this mask. I do not want to lose it because I need a skip. There's a skip I need to do towards the end of the level, and it saves about 3 to 5 seconds. This is, if you don't get it, there's a few extra things you need to do, and ideally, we want to get through this as quickly as we can. So far, so good. Nice. All right. So this is coming up to the skip here. I probably could have made that. Fun fact, if you're too close for those as they're coming up, you will get damaged and it will hurt you. All right, here we go. So, well, that worked out well. Basically, when you take damage, you're put in an invulnerable state, as I'm sure most of you know from Crash games. But in this game in particular, there is a very special property about it. You actually cannot fall off edges. And we actually use that for a few skips here with the mask abuse. All right, and slide under that. Beautiful. All right, here's another mask here, but this mask is going to do anything for us. I could use it to do a damage skip, but if I did it there, I just wouldn't have the height to jump up there because I don't have double jump, and I would just run out of invincibility frames to just die, which we ideally do not want. Hopefully I don't mess it up, and I can show you guys a few of the skips later on. There's a route that does one of the levels I would do first last, and it does a skip where you hit one enemy, slide through, double jump, hit another enemy, and it saves about 20 to 30 seconds because the other method of moving is so slow, but it's extremely difficult and risky to pull off, and in this, deaths, so much time lost. Like, from there, I would have lost about 30 seconds just to deaths. All right, here comes Roku, or however you want to pronounce it. I really don't care for the elementals' names because we don't ever talk to them. This is the boss. We'll use the Atmosphere. To get through this, there's an ideal setup where you can get a really quick cycle on him. However, I'm not sure if it's a version of the game. I've been practicing this for months and months and months, and I cannot get the third phase consistently. I'm not sure if it's something I'm not doing with the Atmosphere, but we'll see how we go. But at least I can show you guys the first two phases of it. So to start right away, you want to go straight to the right here. Hit that first boulder, and you just want to wait right here. Make sure you're not too low. And there goes that down the drain. Basically, if you stop at that first walk and he's not too far away, you'd be able to set yourself up to get the next two super quickly. And yeah, the annoying thing about the atmosphere is you can never stand still. Like, if you stand still, Crash will idle move side to side. It is a pain, especially when you're waiting for cycles. Oh, and I'm just going to push that away. If Crunch hits any of these rocks, like he just did then, you can lose significant amounts of time because RNG, AI manipulation, it's a pain. Now, I've already lost enough time here. If I was losing time enough as it was, this could potentially, depending on how it goes, I could lose even more. But in the third phase, you're actually meant to take damage and bounce off Crunch, and that will shoot you up in between the two of those so you can get a double hit. Ideally, I want to cancel any of these orange ones he hits out, because any orange boulders he currently has, if they hit any of mine or a blank boulder, they will also turn orange. Alright. Like so. And ideally, we do not want to get 4 of those, but we're not too bad at video games, so... Alrighty. This is going just exactly as how I envisioned it. An absolute mess. Anyway. Excellent. Where's the last one? Over here. Come on. Swag. There we go. We're in, boys. We're in. We're good. Okay, that's the first warp done. That took so much longer than what it had to, but that's just Roku for you. One slipper. If you were doing world record, PB or anything, if you mess that up, you might as well either reset or just exit and try the level again. It loses you that much time. This is a marathon. We don't have time for that. Alrighty. So moving on to the second warp, we're going to get our first Coco level. We don't really like her. She doesn't have any of the ability. The only ability she gets from Crash, I think the only 2 abilities she gets from Crash is the Fruit Bazooka and the running shoes. None of which we'll be able to use. None of which is helpful on Coco. But first, we've got our second chase level.
I just want to say that here at Oz Speedruns, we actually do like Coco. Disregard DesPenguin. We've got a lovely cosplayer in the crowd supporting.
Look, no hate,
as
but
Coco.
No hate, only love for the cosplay. But in this version of the game, Coco is quite literally awful. They made her much better in the Insane Trilogy, and it's just so much better to play her. And she's actually useful in the Insane Trilogy, as you know, with the skips and especially warped. But anyway, she's quite slow in this. She does have like 1 speed strat, but it is quite annoying to get down, but we'll see how we go. Alrighty, so it's just a lot of sliding here. This is... I know I said the first level was the easiest. I lied. This is easier. There is no chance of you falling off here. It is basically just Slide City all the way to the chase sequence, which is in a buggy, which was, I think, put into Crash Team Racing recently. And depending on my mask as well, I may change up the route. Coming into the later levels, I have a bit more flexibility as to where I can go with my mask routes, because there is some damage abuses I want to do just for safety, especially in the 4th warp onwards. It gets, it's interesting. Oh, we don't need that checkpoint. This is too ridiculously easy. And it's literally just a horde of rhinos out of nowhere. It's good to see RSPCA or whatever doing their job. I don't get out much. Oh, and also keep account of the lives as well. I'm going to need those. Oh, and thank God I picked out that mask. Woo, if I did not have that, I would have eaten my words right there. Alrighty. So, moving right along. This is the part where they try to increase the difficulty a little bit. We've got that checkpoint. This one isn't too bad if you die here, but it really is not that difficult. You just get a few windy turns, that's all. And literally there, we're on the home stretch. This is done. This is easy. All right. So here is our crystal here. You can just walk past her or grab her, whatever. All right. So when I was talking about the warp gates before, if I'm extremely unlucky, I will like there, right there. If I did not stop my if I did not hard turn back, I would have fallen off there and it would have taken me back to that checkpoint way back there. And that's 30 seconds. No. No. All right. So, because I don't really need a mask, well, I don't have one of it currently, I will go to the Coco level here. Wait, no, this one. That's right. I know numbers, people. So how are we all doing tonight? We're having a good fun day at PAX? Yeah? Woo? That's right. Excellent. Alrighty. So, first Coco level. This one, it's... The only thing you got to keep in mind here is cycles, and it's a lot more narrower, Coco's levels. They're very linear. It's just a lot of platforming, a lot of jumping. There's not too much tech to it. And it just cycles. That's basically it. You also see me getting most checkpoints in a lot of the later levels because if I miss them, there is a lot of time lost. I shouldn't need the 2-hour estimate, keyword there shouldn't, but if I die, when I was recording this, because I finally got a capture card working, I was set to finish this with a decent amount of time. I took, I think, a couple of deaths in the final warp. That added an extra 15 minutes onto my run. So deaths can cost you a lot here. I probably could have taken that, but I'm just going to be as cautious as I can be here. Alright. And there's that. Alright, take 2. Usually if I had a mask, which I might as well take here. Hopefully I can get rid of him. And I'll just damage abuse for this. Please jump, please jump, please jump. Okay. Alright, so if you have any donations, that would be a good time to read them out.
We currently don't have any donations to read out, but you can support us, Oz Speedruns, at PAX by going to donate.ozspeedruns.com. DesPenguin has a incentive going on during this run where you can guess the amount of minutes of load he has. Currently, the closest will win a Penny Arcade set of, what was it? What was the item?
So I have a little keyring here.
Yes, a Penny Arcade keyring. Yeah. And currently we only have two guesses in of 11 minutes and 16 minutes. So get your guesses in, get your donations in. And you can donate those in person up at the booth.
In person or however you want to do it. I'm not picky, but I'll be closing that at the start of the... Basically end of the boss of this warp. Alright. Alright, now we should be good. Hopefully. I would hope so, or else I'm gonna cry. Alright, that is a damage abuse that we didn't have to take there, but we're gonna take it anyway, because, strats. And just going through here, these little mats here, it'd be good to, just chain them, but they're just really inconsistent. They don't give us enough height or distance, so we have to basically get to the end and time it, or else, yeah, it's not fun. All right. Well, that was embarrassing, but that's out of the way. Yay. Coming up next is probably our next vehicle level. Funny part about the vehicle levels is they actually take away your masks, and especially with the bosses as well. That happens as well. So basically, you cannot get hit, you cannot die. The vehicle levels are a bit more forgiving, but one hit from any boss, and that's it, insta-death. But we're going to do this anyway. Alright, goodbye, Wawa. We don't care. All right, this one, I'm not sure if any of you guys played it when you were younger, but this took me, I remember, about a good 2 days to figure out how this works. And when you learn to speedrun this thing, and no, that cancelled, sweet. So basically you got to lock onto these. Each ship takes 3 missiles. We're going to go around once and try to hit them with 2 each. I think I missed 2 there, sorry, but I'll be able to get them next time around, so real good. And you take a lot of damage here. It's quite exorbitant. So luckily there's a health crate that I just missed, but I can pick one up. We can recover. It's all good. It's completely RNG as well. If the AI feels like they want to ram you in their ships, and like so, it does a fair bit of damage. Oh, and they can also eat your missiles as well. It's great fun. All right, that's 2. All right, we're going to make another round. Fantastic. And the last one, last 2. There you go. No, am I blind? Yes, I am. There we go, that's 1. And also the X targeting is finicky as well. Usually we try to get at the frame that it goes red to let go, but sometimes if you cancel at that frame a little bit early, you won't fire any missiles at all. Thankfully, that is the only damn level that is featured in for this run. It is by far the most frustrating vehicle to use of them all. Not as frustrating, well, yeah, I'd say it is equally as bad as Coco's later on, but thankfully, that's it. We don't have to deal with that anymore. And because we have a mask, I'm going to move on to H2O. This is technically the second underwater level, but it's not a true one because we're using a vehicle. A vehicle I absolutely despise. It, like the Atmosphere, it uses a lot of momentum, and sometimes if you try to stop, it will just go that little bit further, and you'll get hit by that nitro or that enemy, and it just tilts you off the face of the planet. Well, that might be just me. Alrighty. So literally the trick with this, to anyone that's playing this casually, is don't stop spamming that square button. Just don't stop. There is no penalty, no repercussions, and you just pray to RNG that you don't get hit and you just blow up everything. It is literally the strat. We're going to get rid of that because the longer it falls, the harder it's going to be. Get rid of you. These angelfish as well have probably the worst hitbox of any underwater enemy. They can dodge missiles like it's the Matrix. It's quite unfair and unforgiving. And when you have no mask, as I'm sure anyone who's played the Crash games will know, you will get one shot by everything. So ideally we want to be as careful as we can because these underwater sequences will waste you like there. Like I'm firing at it. Like, anyway, these waste the most time in any run. You'll find if you take a death here. Also, fun little glitch. It is a bug. I'm not sure what causes it, but you can just randomly die walking through that spot I just did. And I'm going to take the mask here. It saves a little bit of time for a damage skip if I fall into this, the electric tainted water here. All right, 1. Like so. Sometimes you don't hit the box in the right angle, you're not getting enough distance, you're going to fall, and that's when the mask comes in handy. Alright, Gucci, we good. Alright, another mask. Alright, we should be pretty much set for the rest of this level. Those guys, we don't care about them, we'll just run past them. We can jump over these like it's no business. Done. These tuna fish is like one of the only few enemies we can't actually spin. They will just hit us for some unknown reason. Their hurt box is just completely different for some unknown reason. Alright. This is basically the end of this level. We've got 1 more to go. And yeah. I try to leave the underwater levels till last because usually I can come out with a mask or whatnot. That's where I choke the most. You have no idea. I think I lost 3 minutes. My PB, I cannot get it any better. 3 minutes I lost to the last underwater level of the run, and it's quite insane. Anyway, looks like, do you have anything to plug or whatnot?
No, I was just going to fill the empty air. I was going to ask, what got you into Crash speedrunning?
To give you a rough idea, because we time it without loads, the world record for Crash at the moment is 52 minutes. That's with loads removed.
I asked what got you into Crash speedrunning.
Oh, what got me into it? I don't know. I would see a lot of like GDQ and whatnot of like, you know, see J-Hobbs and everyone running the Crash games. I'm like, what about Wrath of Cortex, man? It was a fun game. I enjoyed it in my childhood, and then, you know, I just sort of stuck to it and learnt it, and I can understand why no one plays it now. But yeah, that's long story cut short. Now the strat for these underwater levels, it's actually pretty interesting speed-wise because instead of just one button, we're mashing 2 buttons at once. So X makes you flat faster, and spinning also gives you a slight speed boost. And basically we use that, and when we get the tornado spin later, it becomes absolute insanity. Also me dying, that is absolute insanity. Hopefully I don't get to the part where you die so many times they give you a mask. I'm probably going to cry a lot if I do. Alright. Go into him. Alright, there we go. And going down in these is a little bit awkward as well. Like, I've got to move in a bit of a zigzag or else it's quite frustrating. Alright. And we got a mask again and we just lost it. Fantastic. Alrighty. Because there is a damage boost I ideally want to do, but I don't have a mask now, so I won't be able to do it. Take that life because I'm going to need them. So at the bottom of this cavern here, we've got this little thing here. We can't actually set it off. We just got to walk up to and touch it. But ideally you would spin into that. That would crush it instantly. You'd have the invulnerability frame, so you wouldn't be able to crush by the boxes, and it would make your life that much easier. And now we come to the submarine. This is usually the first time you see it. And there we go. That's the mask. Usually I would have gotten that mask ages ago just by spraying and praying, but hey, I'll take it. But aside from that, nothing too interesting here. It's just a lot of me pressing square and forward. It's very slow and very tedious, these underwater levels. And I should probably get that. Alrighty. Alrighty. Alright, that's the final level for this warp done. Now we're coming up to Water Crash. Does anyone ever remember playing this game at all as a kid and remembering the water boss? Show of hands. Fantastic. And do you remember how much of a pain he was? Absolutely fantastic. We're going to hopefully make this look as easy as possible. Usually, typically, casually, you would take it very slow. You would wait for one of his attacks and whatnot. But with Speed Demons, the only difference is I'm bad at video games, so this could go either way. but we'll see how this goes. Oh, and just a reminder, after the end of this boss, I will be closing that incentive for that key ring, so if anyone really... whoop, and there we go. I was not quick enough for that one, so I just caught the bullet there, because I wouldn't have been able to make it to the platform. Alright, so we slide over that, get the first hit in, slide as much as we can, jump over that, jump, slide, 2... Alright, jump over that. Excellent.
Alright, everyone, get your donations in real quick. We've got only a few moments left. Only 2 donations.
Done.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, thank God. That worked out a lot better than what I thought it would. Second try, I'm cool with that.
3 fast, 5 me.
Alright, so what were our guesses? Only the 2 there?
We had 2 guesses. One of 11 minutes and one of 16 minutes.
Alright, so the closest guess is actually 16 minutes. Only problem is you're actually 10 minutes off.
Yeah.
There is 25 minutes worth of loads in this game for any percent. And that's no revisiting. 100% it's doubled. So, my friend,
All right.
if you want to come grab that.
Whoever is Shrog. Oh, there he is.
All right, that was Mark Hamill, by the way. We're not going to see him at all. All respects to Mark Hamill. Love you, man.
We love you, Mark.
All right, and this is the gauntlet. This is our second of our 3 medieval levels that we will see in this run. It's a much longer platforming level. It's a lot of sliding, a lot of dodging obstacles. It is a literal gauntlet. Not too much to talk about here, but now that we have double jump, we can do a lot of cool things. We can get a lot of height, especially with the slide jumping, which already gives you a decent amount of height already. Like right here, for example, we can just skip those stairs that would take, you know, it saves a couple of seconds, but it's worth it. All right. And I'm going to wait for this because I was practicing the strat earlier where you would skip these and yeah, no, it didn't work out well. And you can lose more time if you don't get it optimally here. These also come out really quickly. And just by impulse, I tend to go to the side there because it's quite quick. And the optimal strat is to actually jump around them. But it's very finicky. A little bit too to the left, like too far out, and you're done. All right, we're going to skip that. Beautiful. Alrighty. Cycles. That's another thing about deaths as well. It really throws cycles out, and that can really hurt you in the long run. We're just going to run past those. Don't know what happened there, but we're good. Video games. Woo PAX. Here we go. These obstacles are, they're nothing. It's mainly these blades coming up that are quite annoying. And the timing for them is really awkward. Hopefully I got it. There we go. Alrighty, and we got that. Cool beans. Thankfully, these ones come out a bit slower, but they are just as painful. And we can skip that. Alrighty. So that was awful, but don't worry. Hopefully I can make up some time, especially in the later levels. I'm trying to remember what the next level is. Oh, that's right. The next level is a Coco level. Tsunami, I believe it is. And that's our third chase level. This one is relatively easy. The only difficult part can be the platforming at the start. Only because it's just how it's done. It's just weird. Which reminds me, I completely forgot to talk about the fast track with Coco. So I'll be able to show it off here a little bit because it's not right out the bat hardcore platforming. So the only real speed strat with Coco, it doesn't save too many times. It's just mainly zigzagging. It gets us moving a little bit faster, but she's already not too bad on her own. The only thing is zigzagging, and we don't want to do that. The zigzagging, it can really throw you off if you're not used to it. So, for example, going in the side here, I'm just going to just do it as I normally would. Alright, and this is Coco's scooter. This is the only level we're using it. It's a shame because it's actually not a bad section. And it's mainly just an auto-scroller, running as fast as you can, dodging nitros, same old usual stuff. This is also the shortest level of the run as well. Even though the vehicle levels like Tornado Alley and Crash Droids are quite short, this is by far the quickest. Alrighty. Warp 3 is probably the more relaxed one as well. It's basically just that chase one, the atmosphere, and a vehicle level. The only annoying part about it is the AI purposely try to... It's like if Crash Team Racing was infuriating. And very poor designed. I like to think of it as Crash Nitro Kart on a budget. Alright, if we're lucky, we should get, hopefully, if Dingo Dial and everyone else in front wants to play nice, we should get first before the main bridge sequence. Oh, we want those turbo boosts as well, but thank God the AI doesn't get them. We do. And no, engine doesn't want to play nice. Yeah, so this is ideally where we'd want to be first, but we can overtake Entropy. It's no real problem. And basically, as long as you don't fall into a pit, like I did just there, you're basically fine. Just a disclaimer, I did say I would die a lot. I wasn't kidding when I said I was going to die a lot in this. It is... I might look like an idiot playing this, but it is extremely easy to die. Especially in the final levels, I'll be taking it as cautiously as I can. Because not only are the deaths there costly, they can happen a lot. The difficulty in the only real problem aside from the hitboxes and the loading screens is the difficulty in this goes up significantly from the, like, as soon as you finish the fourth warp. It is just absolute insanity. Alright, hopefully we're Gucci now, he says as he comes around the next turn. Alright, we're good. We're good. Physics. Also, the physics in this game are very interesting, questionable at best. That's all good. That is actually a skip. That is intended. Because while you're holding the X button, you have next to no control. It's great. Alright, so coming up to the 4th level of this warp, this is our second Atmosphere level. The difficulty in these also goes up. It's quite noticeable. This one's an ice one, and this is where they introduce the villains who we all know and love, and they use them as cheap obstacles and secondhand assets. And this one, there is a few ideal strats, but to get it all moving, you need the right momentum right from the get-go, and it's very hard to do. I'll do my best. There is a couple of skips I may get, but the main thing is we want to go as quickly and as carefully through this without dying. The main thing with the Atmosphere levels is the devs sort of thought, hey, you know, if you die, you can get back quickly, right? No, they just put really annoying obstacles in your way, and it just makes it that much more difficult. And also, when you bonk into anything in this sphere, you lose all momentum and speed, and it takes forever to get back. And I'm going to regret not taking that checkpoint. Alrighty. Take 2. Thank God those penguins, they don't actually break you, they just push you back. If they actually did damage, that would be infuriating. Oh, this is Dingo Dial. He's probably the only thing we need to be scared of in these Atmosphere levels. He'll be in the next one as well, but he's the only thing that we need to be worried about. The only real villain that can actually decently hurt us. Alright. Now, coming up, if you do have enough speed and can go through this confidently, you can actually clip off this little section here and skip this whole thing. But we can't really do that because we're bad at video games. So we're just going to wait here normally. And this is what I mean about the idle thing. You can't stand still. See, Crash just tilts like I do on a daily basis. But anyway, going across here. Hey, Entropy. Goodbye. And from here, careful weaving around the nitros. Yeah, great. All right, let's try this again. And the hitbox in this Atmosphere are really unforgiving as well. It seems to have a bigger hitbox than what it actually does. And that really can stop you. And there we go. All right. Now we got the last level, which is Fahrenheit Frenzy. This introduces the jetpack, and it's the only time we use it. Thank God. It also reminds me that this game does inverted controls. Also, absolutely terrible. If you like to plug anything, or that would be good, but there's not too much to really say here.
And with that, it's time to do a plug. Yes, we are Australian Speedruns at PAX, and we are raising money for Child's Play. Child's Play is a charity that helps sick children with the power of play. They source out the new fun games and consoles and equipment, and they source hospitals with these for sick children. All donations will go to Child's Play from this marathon. And if you'd like to donate, you can go to donate.ozspeedruns.com, or if you're at the event, you can come up to one of the booths. I'm over here, I'm waving, and you can put money in the tin. All right, thank you.
Alright, so this part is mainly just going through as quick as we can, dodging the lasers. The cycles can be a bit unforgiving because they are really quick. So we ideally want to get through this as quickly as possible. And if we die here, the time lost is really significant. All right. Done. We're in. Beautiful. All right. That was a bit of a close call. Then there's these guys. They're really annoying. I don't know why they're there. It's just for no good reason. All right. Here comes our first conveyor belt. We get a lot of these in the later levels. Usually the optimal strat is obviously, as I've said, just sliding. But when we get on those, if it's going the opposite direction, we want to just keep jumping. Just because the sliding, the momentum, it works against us, so there's no real point in trying to dash there. Alrighty. And I'm going to grab this mask here just for safety, because I'm clearly, as you can tell through this whole run, I'm going to need it. Alright, so near the home stretch here. Mainly just a lot of jumping and whatnot. There's not... This one isn't too interesting because there's not too many skips involved here. But it's mainly just getting through it as quickly as we can with this diving and not dying. Alright. Alright, and that's level done. Thank God. Now, coming on to this boss, this is Fire Crunch. As I mentioned before, even though I got the extra mask, it's going to be taken away from me. It's going to do me no help in this boss at all. One hit and you're gone. And losing time on this, dying in this can lose you so much time. It's not funny. But thankfully, I have practiced this one a fair bit, so hopefully we shouldn't die. Alright, so the main strat for this, we want to get to the end as possible, so we're just going to keep sliding while avoiding the boulders. If one of them does come underneath us, it is sometimes quicker, depending on the trajectory, to just jump over them. But now we get to chase him back. It's relatively simple. You just got to let the pressure build up from the mech and just hit him there. That part was the easy one. We don't have to worry about that, but it's... the chasing, when we're chasing Crunch back after we get to the mech here, which is a bit of a longer trek, that's when it gets a bit more difficult. Because he starts leaving fireballs but behind him, and yeah, they can be annoying to avoid just because of how the mech controls with jumping. As you can see with the sliding, it gets us there quicker, and the AI does take a bit to catch up. But when we do get to the end, it does speed up, which does make it a bit easier for us. All right. Once we hit him, though, during a chase sequence like this, it becomes significantly easier because we know where the fireballs are going to be, and it's just easier to dodge. For the final phase here, he's going to start throwing rocks, and then there's a chance they'll split in two. And like that. And it does make things a little bit trickier. But with double jump, it is a It's a little bit... Whoa. A little bit easier. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Alright, now this is the part where the fireballs start rolling towards us. I'm going to try and zigzag back and forth because I need to see where they're coming from because they can just snipe you off screen. There we go. Snipe you off screen, and as you saw, those chase sequences, it's a lot of time. And with that, that is the third warp done. Alrighty. The only downside, if anyone wants to learn this game, it is really easy to pick up, but really hard to master, as you can see. But the only thing that puts a lot of people off is the load times. Like I said, 25 minutes. And if you want to practice something, dying and reloading it is such a real pain to do. All right.
Do you guys time without loads? Do you remove loads?
We time it without loads. A load remover would be fantastic.
Right.
It would make this game that much better to run, but no one's been able to come up with it. The world record for this, by the way, was set in 2016. It has not been run since. Well, I think there was a couple of runs, but they weren't world record. So this is a really old game, and it's as optimized as you can get. But to get the most optimized world record strat, or route rather, it takes so much time, dedication, and risks in a game that's already really difficult and punishing when it wants to be. It's not as forgiving as, say, Crash 3 or Crash 1, where you do have those strats you can rely on. This one is more spherical objects in a mesh sack to the wall, rather than, consistent, reliable strats. And this game is also notorious for eating inputs as well. I had that happen to me a lot this morning. A lot. Alrighty.
Now, are you running the NTSC version of the game?
So no, I'm actually running the PAL version of the game.
Right.
Only because I'm poor and it's all I have. And it's actually one of the more run versions, I believe. It was the Japanese for a while, but I think there is something with the... I'm not too sure what the difference is. Because we don't count loads. So unless it's something with the AI... I'm not entirely sure. The only reason I'm entirely sure is because the community for this game, it's basically MIA. Not heard from them. Be nice if they could send me a postcard, call me, text me, SOS, anything. Please help me. That'd be great. But yeah, like I said, it is an old game. You basically teach yourself by watching the world record attempts and just learning and altering as much as you can. Anyway, that's our second last Coco level. So, for the Coco cosplayer and any other Coco fans in the audience, get ready for the last Coco level coming up shortly. Because that's all you're going to see of her. Which will be this one right here.
Once again, I have to say I appreciate the dedication, really. I mean, it's...
That we do. Don't go anywhere. I need a photo with you after we're done. We are totally taking a selfie. Alrighty. Okay, so this is... it might as well be another auto-scroller. The ideal strat, if you can get it and you don't have spaceships running in your face, is to take out the two... take out all three of these little shield protective thingies at once, and then go for it. But sometimes the cycles just aren't nice to you, and the backup strat is to take out two of them, come back, take out one, then take out the space station. Oh, and the AI really loves to ram into you for this level for some reason. Don't ask me why. I didn't make the AI for it. I wish I did, because it'd be a lot more forgiving. I don't feel better about myself. Ooh. This is risky. I'm going to quickly take a safety thing here, because I do not trust the AI to play nice. Alright. I've taken out all those. Got that one here. Now, if you don't destroy the space station and you keep firing and walking into it, it will send you back, and it's about a 5-second animation of recovery, and you've got to turn around. So you lose time there. And yeah, the AI just doesn't like anyone at all. So they just ram into you like it's, you know, like it's Black Friday or just a casual day in Melbourne, really. Alright, that's 2. And last one here. Alright, thank God that's out of the way. Unfortunately, this isn't our last vehicle level. The boss that will be coming up is quite a pain. If anyone got that far in the original, in this game at all. Air Crunch, and that's where we use the plane. And that is... It's not fun, and to optimize it for a speedrun, it's really precise. I've got it down somewhat, but it's awkward. Now I'm changing my level route a little bit here, purely based on masks. The third water level of the run, which is the last one, Coral Canyon, I need a mask there because it starts in submarine and then transitions into a scuba crash, and there's a damage boost I need to do, or else I'm in really deep trouble, and going through it slowly wastes more time than you'd think. Alright, so Wuthering Heights. This one actually has a really cool skip, and because I have a mask, I can just skip one of the masks coming up, because I don't want 3 masks, because if I have 3 masks, I'll be invincible, and I won't be able to pull off the skip that's coming up. So if I didn't have a mask, I'd grab that one right there. But we're just going to keep sliding like a madman and wait for these fans to do their thing. Alright. So hopefully I've done this right. There we go. So by sliding, alright, that's that done. Alright, there we go. And we just saved ourselves about 15-20 seconds there. The monkey bars are that slow. I'm not even joking. Crash moves at a snail's pace. It is the most... Look, I keep saying everything's infuriating, but that is by far the most annoying part of this game. It's so slow. Any chance we can try to skip the monkey bar parts, we do it. Unfortunately... one of the levels I skipped that I'll be going back to, it does have that's the double skip I was talking about earlier, but it's way too risky for me to pull off in a marathon, and I will lose a bunch of time if I do it. So I'm just going to leave it for today, and I'll just do the normal one. Alright. Wasn't meant to take the damage boost there, but we should be good. Alright. That was actually a lot better than what I was intending. I can't tell you how many times I've died on this level and... yeah, just tilted off the face of the planet. But we're good. We're moving. Now, the only problem is here, because I lost that mask, I'm going to have to do Droid Void before I do Coral Canyon, which is, yeah. Because ideally you want a mask going into both levels, because to get the other mask to do the skip here, it's more time wasted on the monkey bars. Like, you'll see, I'll have to use it here, and you'll see how slow it is. And, yeah, it's not ideal. So usually here, we would just hit one of the bots with a mask. And as you can see with how terribly slow this is, it's painful. I get nightmares about this stuff. It's like watching an XP computer, like with the little hourglass, man. It's painful. So ideally we want to catch one of these robots. I should make this one coming back. It's not going to save us as much time now because we're already so close. Hello? Thank you. Oh, and yeah, that's a thing as well. All right. And that's the reason I wanted that mask there, because this is it's a little bit tedious. All right. Usually you can tornado spin over that gap, but I'm not going to risk it. All right, so this is where we first get control of the mech outside of the one we saw in the Fire Crunch boss. This is one of 2 levels. It's a bit finicky, and it really makes you hold X for jumping. Usually you can just tap it and you can get away with just tapping it and jumping over gaps normally when you're not in the mech. But in this, it sort of forces you to, because it doesn't give you enough height. And the hitbox on, the hurt box on this as well is ridiculous. So where I can, I will try to clear obstacles if it's looking too dangerous or difficult. This one should be fine. And this one, just fire nitro. They're all gone. That's no problem. This also uses momentum as well. If you do not have enough momentum while you are moving and you jump, you will not get enough distance and you will die. Not like that, but you will die. Alright, so this is the last little stretch of the level. Usually you can just dodge a lot of the things here. Ooh, that was very close. But in the case of this little guy here, we don't like him. We're going to get rid of him. There's nitro there. We don't like that either. There's also nitro here. We do not like that either. There we go. Those guys will just explode. Thank you for doing a great civic duty. All right. So I should be able to recover in Coral Canyon only because there should be a mask I can grab. The only thing is I cannot take damage or it's going to be the most slowest, painful trek of my life when I get into Scuba Crash. And I'm going to have to play it very carefully. Which ideally, because we have the Death Tornado now, it's going to make this underwater level really quick when we get out of the scuba suit.
We just had a $10 donation from Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous.
Not used to the weather.
I'd also like to say just how close we are to reaching the 4K mark. We're at $3,714.70. So get your donations in. We can reach that 4,000 by the end of the marathon. We've got 2 more runs after this one. We can do it. If you'd like to donate, you can either, if you're at PAX Oz, you can walk up to the front bench where I am, and I can put money in the tin, or you can go to donate.ozspeedruns.com.
All right, I think okay, there we go. There's a second red shark that can come across there, and he's quite mean. He just hits you and basically kill you. To anyone who's struggled in this level casually, literally, you just have to go, whoop. Needed a bit more momentum there, but literally, if you stick to the top of the stage for the most part while in the tanker, you're fine. Basically, nothing can hurt you here unless you're really slow on this jellyfish cycle. Even this, we're just going above them. We don't care. And we're just going to clear those mines. This is where we have to go a little bit lower because the level just wants us to go down. And back up again. Alright, and this is our Aku Aku mask. This is the one we don't want to lose. Alright, this one we can't hit. It's off screen. They make it impossible to do it. Alright. They want to stay above here. It's sort of zigzagging up and down. This is a few enemies and mines. Alright, we got them. That we do not want to get hit by. Alright, hopefully I hit one of these red sharks coming up. This is another two. Thank goodness. Alright. We should be good now. Beautiful. This is where I wanted to keep the mask. We're good. Alright. And we're good. The rest of this level is literally child's play. We just mash Tornado, the Death Tornado, which we got from the third boss, and kick. That's nothing. That's nothing. I don't know why I went there, but I did. I'm gonna get that checkpoint. And we're gonna get blocked by that. Beautiful. I should probably grab that. That is required to finish the game. Good job, Des. Alright. Now we're on to Air Crunch. This is the plane and the last vehicle level of the run. We do still have another Atmosphere level. That one's a little bit tricky. But this one shouldn't be an issue. The only thing that's finicky is moving into the right position to get it precise and to get as many hits as you can in during the cycles where Crunch is vulnerable. But aside from that, there's not too much. It's just mainly keeping an optimal movement throughout the whole thing. And not too bad for time either. Provided I don't take too many deaths on the first and second levels of Warp 5, this run is basically in the bag. Alright. Now, while he has this much health, the pattern is really consistent of what attacks he'll throw out. Nice, very nice. This is the most painful one. You need to be constantly, as you can see, by my lack of awareness and reacting to it promptly. That does a lot of damage. That is the one attack we want to try and dodge as well, but it can also help us get the most hits in. And I reacted to that one poorly as well. So ideally, I do not want to take any more damage because otherwise it's just way too risky here. So I need to play it a bit more safer than clutch, but we'll do our best. Alright. Now, you'll find when we get Air Crunch to lower HP, the attacks will be a bit more random, and he'll spam that laser one a lot more. And ideally, we want to try and get it to a point where we can basically he does his other phases, because when he gets to low, he will actually just cancel his attacks. He'll do the startup animation, but nothing will come out of it. And he will go straight to the laser. And that is the one thing that's going to kill us. Alright, and he gave us a good attack there. Whoop, there we go. Alright, now he would have done his eyes, but he moves, like I said, he moves straight to the laser beam. And we do not want to get hit by this at all, or else it will kill us. Also, the attacks are much shorter. And... Alright, next hit, and he's gone. Done. Alright. We're good. Video games. Woo. PAX. Alright. So, as I mentioned at the start of the run, one of the main gripes I have about this game, aside from hitboxes, is the difficulty. It gradually gets harder from warps 1 to 4, but then it just jumps here, especially in terms for speedrunning. I think there's only one... We actually do this one in complete reverse order, purely for mask's sake, for mask routing. But the last level we do on this is actually the easiest. And I would say this is probably the hardest level of the run. Also, hey, Cortex. But now that we've defeated all the elemental asks, we've got to deal with Cortex himself, who has decided to resurrect all the masks and stuff. Lore, storyline. It's... yeah. The story for this is... It's very generic. It's not... It's sort of your typical Crash story, but it's not too bad. Alright, hitboxes. This is probably the worst level of hitboxes. As you can see on those platforms there, if you go on the edge of those hitboxes, on the edge of those ledges, you will not stand there. You will fall off and you will die. Like I am here. Several times. This level and the next is the one where I died the most. I think I counted it on my PB that I was able to submit with a capture card finally. I died 14 times. That was close. Between these two levels. It is absolute insanity. No pun intended. Alright, and those gates, just like right there, their hitboxes on those are a bit bigger and they are really punishing. So, unless they're really down low like that, it's quite a pain. I've got to wait for the cycle here. Alright. So I got to position myself here, and if I can do it. There we go. Also, yeah, that tornado hitbox, if you mash it too hard like I did just there, it lingers. You have no control, you can't cancel it, and if you land into boxes, you're dead. Alright, we're going to stop there because we learned from prior mistakes. And we're going to jump through here. Alright. Rest of this level is pretty simple. Once we hit the next checkpoint, it becomes incredibly easy. The game actually gives us 3 masks. And you know what? I'm just going to damage boost through this because I'm going to get 3 anyway. And proceed to die. Sweet. All right. Is anyone actually keeping count of how many times I died? Because I've lost count. All right. So coming up here. I'm not going to risk it. Usually you could damage boost through this. But as you can tell with the cooperative... Hello? There we go. That's a bit better. Alright, they kindly give us 3 masks here. And this is full Unga Bunga madness. We're just going to slide through this because we don't even care. We're a god. Not a rap god though, so it's not as good. But still... And we can just damage boost through here. We're good. We're set. All right. 4 more levels to go. And then once I get through Gold Rush, the second last level, it is the easiest stretch from there. The final boss, Cortex and Crunch, it is an absolute joke. It is so easy to cheese you would not believe. All right. Now that I have 1 mask, I can actually show you the skip here. Fingers crossed I get this first try. On my practice runs, I was getting this, so... I'm praying. Alright. So, slow call on the monkey bars, hit the nitro, spam that slide button, and we made it. Good. And we messed up that death tornado, so right there, that's a big time loss. And since we don't have a mask, now I get to show you how slow it is. So if you have anything to plug, anything to say, by all means, go ahead.
No donations to read at this moment, but we are Oz Speedruns at PAX Oz, raising money for Child's Play, a charity dedicated to helping children through the power of play. You can donate at donate.ozspeedruns.com, or if you're at PAX Oz, you can come up to the booth and hand in a donation in person. Any amount is appreciated, and we love you all.
Alrighty, so this is the last chase level of the game. I didn't think I would be this bad. Well, actually, that's a lie. I thought I'd be much worse than this. But this is the last chase level of the game, and it's in the mech. So this really forces you to use and abuse that jump button. All right. There's not too much here. It's just mainly avoiding and making sure you don't get caught in cycles like that. Because everything's off screen, it's just that much harder to predict the cycles the enemies are on. And like I said, when you die, you lose all track of cycles, and it's just improv and guessing at that point. And I'm going to take that life because it looks like at this point I may need it. And that right there, that's an example of my inputs just being eaten. It's great. Apologies for this, it worked out so much better in practice. So I do apologize for the repetitive deaths. It's, yeah. It's unfortunate because the chase levels, they don't really give you a chance to anticipate things at all. Okay. Please, thank you. Oh, sweet, I got the other one. Alright. So fingers crossed, I don't die here. Alright, there we go. It's a lot better. I'm gonna shoot that thing if I can get it. Only because it is an absolute pain in the backside to deal with. And the checkpoint's right there, so I didn't want to risk it. But I couldn't get the aiming reticle on it, so I just had to go for it. Alright, we're just going to wait here peacefully. Hope the hitbox... There we go. We're going to move back from those. I would normally run through them if I was on cycle, because I wouldn't be waiting for those. I'd be able to just jump straight through, but like I said, dying... Everything's on a global cycle. Even when you're low, like it's respawning you, the cycles do not stop. They do not pause, so it's hard to really sort of get back and figure out where they're at. Okay. Now that that one's out of the way, the rest of this should be an easier stretch. Well, thank you, Twitch chat. Thank you. Really appreciate it, guys. Alright, this is our last Atmosphere level. This is actually a really fun one speed-wise. There are a lot of nice little skips we can do, and just cuts. Just breaking through it all. This is probably my favorite level of them, but towards the end, it does get really, really punishing. And there is a skip, or several skips towards the end that save time. But the strats and how people get the speed, I have no idea. So we're just going to play it relatively safe. Oh, and this is the one level the devs made. They decided, you know what? Do you like going and finishing the level, going through the warp gate? No, we're just going to put it there close to somewhere it can kill you. So... Like right here, we're going to use the ramp to give us speed to hopefully give us enough momentum to go through here. Going up inclines like this, it's super slow. It's painful. We don't like it. I'm going to weave through those. Nice. Oh, and these are quite painful as well. was actually good I got hit by that because, well, no, it's not anymore. But if I get hit by that wheel, it actually bounces me off so I can actually shoot straight past Tiny. Because Tiny's hitbox is also very inconsistent. Like if I moved a fraction more to the right, he would have blocked me and it would have like thrown me back. But this level is really cool as well. If you actually get knocked off by those things, you're given the illusion that you can actually escape and recover. I'll take it. I'll take it. Usually I'd go to the top there, but I'll grab that quick cycle, sure. Yeah, they give you the illusion that you can actually escape from that. No, you can't. At that point, you're better off just rolling off the edge and dying. Should have taken that checkpoint, but hopefully I can make this one slightly better. Alright. It's super important when you fall down there to like sort of correct your momentum, or else you will go straight into those nitro things. There's very little you can do to actually brake and stop you. Alrighty. So we're coming up towards the end of this. We just have a really tricky sequence coming up with Dingo Dar and Entropy. I don't know how they teleport, they just do. Or if they're cloned, I have no idea. Plot holes. Alright. Let's try this again. So I ideally do not want to waste any more time here. The skip that you would traditionally do if you were doing world record, if you had enough speed, you would actually use the edge of that ramp I just came off, and you would shoot yourself onto the checkerboard we got going here. And it does save a lot of time. Whoop. Alrighty. Alright, we should be good. Now, I'm not actually doing... The only thing I'm doing with the analog stick is making sure I am not falling out here. Because it's very easy to kill yourself on this part too. Also, that's what I mean. With how inconsistent the hitbox is on that warp gate, you can go straight out into the water, try again, and that is about a minute lost. Yeah, the devs, if you're watching, which you're probably not, screw you guys. You fill my life with misery.
I love you, John Burton.
Alrighty.
That's the dev, by the way.
This is Gold Rush. There's a very interesting skip that comes here because there's a monkey bar section about halfway through. I will attempt to do the skip. If not, I'm just going to do it my normal intended way. But it's close to frame perfect. You've got to get it at the exact right edge and tornado jump over it, and it saves about 10 to 15 seconds. It's awesome if you can get it. If not, it slows you down. But we'll give it a try because video games and PAX. Alrighty. Optimally as well, when you're doing these slide jumps, it's best to, like, for example, like this. That's what it ultimately be best to do, but with this and nerves and whatnot, it's a bit hard to do. Alright, this is the skip I was talking about. Let's see if we can get it. Nope. Alright. But basically, you would tornado spin right across there. You'd get it. You'd get past here. But instead, we're going to improvise. Provided this would like to play nice. Thank you. So now we're gonna go this the long way. Yeah, that was just unlucky. All right. We're going to get rid of him because we don't really like him, and we're just going to do the same thing. If you can't get on doing the monkey bars fully, it's a chore in and of itself. Ooh. If there's any way you can even reduce time getting on those monkey bars, you have to do it. It's such a time save. Alright, if I can get on the side here. Oof. And it seems to be a recurring theme in this as well. Edges and platforms in Warp 5 just aren't very forgiving. If you got the edge of them, they're actually curved, they're not flat, and it will throw you off into a just chasm and you'll die. Aiming. And I like how I don't take my own advice there. That's fantastic. Alright, I'm going to take the monkey bars here. Usually I would tornado spin over it, but at this point I don't want to lose any more time, so I'm just going to go with the easy strat of doing this. Alright, more Slide City. There's one more bigger step coming up. Ooh. I didn't think I would make that, but hey, I'll take it. One more big skip coming up. I'm gonna need this this Aku Aku mask, rather. But too bad, I don't need it anyway. And it's basically just a lot of sliding till we get to this, I guess you'd say the cartel part of it. Alright. That is why I would need the mask. But I'm going to give it one more try. If not, I will just slide jump it and monkey bar the rest of the way. Oh, well, I guess we're doing this now. Oh, it was fun, fellas. Alright, here's a really cool one. Never mind. Basically, you're meant to jump on top of those boxes, and it gives you a lot of distance to just skip the rest of the monkey bars. Alright. Let's give this one more try. Alright, not ideal, but we got it. I can still use the mask for a damage abuse, which I will no longer be able to do. Ideally, I'd want to go around so I don't hang on to the monkey bars. And one of the older routes, you would use the mask to actually hit that nitro and use a damage abuse, but it was later discovered, you know, we don't actually need to do that. You can actually get enough distance to just skip it. And I guess that's the really interesting thing about the game. If you look at the runs from the lower of the leaderboard to higher up, you can see where the optimizations are made and where people feel comfortable. World record is frame perfect. It's so well optimized. There's not much more you can do to improve it. Even with a load remover, it does nothing. All right, and this is our last cutscene we can skip. Now this one is relatively easy. This is a breeze. There is a damage skip I would ideally like to do, but if I don't get it, if I don't have a mask for it, that's fine. And it's the only real abuse we can really do in this level, but if not, it's just a lot of sliding and jumping. And then after that, we got Cortex, which is, like I said, it's a joke. And outside of what I did in Gold Rush with the bazooka, clearing that box, it's the only other time you'd ever see the bazooka used in the run. Oh yeah, crabs are a thing. Alright, I basically gotta wait for a cycle here. If there was a way to damage abuse across it, I would. Oh, and by the way, lava kills you instantly. So that's why we need the mask to do the glitch where we basically, well, I'm gonna say unintended bug. That's why we need the mask to go across any chasms and stuff like that. It's really deceiving because traditionally you would go, hey, lava shouldn't kill me, right? One hit with a mask. No, it will just one-shot you and yeah, rip the speedrunning dreams. So this is where we would have done that damage skip. I would have intentionally gotten hit by that, I think it was the bird I just took out. But yeah, and we would use it and we actually had to skip all that lava. All of it. Instead of waiting for that really slow cycle. And this is also really slow. We can't do anything here. Just gotta wait for the platform to drop. Also, body slamming, that's something you never see me do. Unless I whiff an input, which is more likely than you think. Alright. I'm going to stop saying it's easy from here, because I've eaten my words enough today. But we're on the home stretch. And after this is just Cortex. Alright, cool. The run is basically... It's basically done at this point. They build it up so dramatic for this, final fight, Crunch and Cortex versus Crash, and it is the most anticlimactic, unimaginative boss I've ever had the pleasure of doing. I mean, I enjoy this game, it's a huge nostalgia hit and whatnot, but yeah, this boss is something else. Alrighty, so basically the thing of this fight, Crunch will jump on some panels and just start dropping things. And then when he's weak, you hit him with the bazooka. He goes, I don't know, it's like after a night out, he doesn't know what he's doing. Hits Cortex on here, and we hit him. And what I was talking about earlier, in other versions of the game, Cortex actually has a health bar. He has no such thing here. No such thing. And these things are so easy to avoid, it's not even funny. Alright. Time will be coming up, by the way, when I collect the power-up after beating Cortex. I believe it's 5 hits. Alright. This one is ridiculously easy because they give you so much notice, it's that easy to dodge. Roku is really the only one that could be a problem to dodge. And thankfully the targeting with the bazooka in this fight is really forgiving. Alright. Hello? Alright, there we go. So the next one, to dodge it, you literally just stand there. They cannot touch you, they cannot hurt you. They try to speed it up a little bit, but seriously, it is such an easy fight. Unless you get hit by that, like I just did there. Pog. Alrighty. Round 2. I say easy, but Roku seriously is the only real threat we have of dying this fight. Every other elemental attack that comes out is just that easy to dodge. Wow, you can literally just stand here, idle pose, you're fine. Alright, show you can him. Alrighty. Whoop. Are we gonna get it? Nope. That has just wasted us some more time. Sometimes, if Crash isn't facing the right way, it just doesn't aim right, and correcting it, it's just a pain to do. So I think one more hit after this one. There should be one more hit, I think. Yeah, one more hit after this, and we're done. So fingers crossed. I don't know. Oh, we're done. Time. Ah! Oh my god. Well, that was Crash. The pain and soul misery of my life, also featuring Cortex. Thank you everyone for stopping by. I would plug Twitch and Twitter and ask you to hit that little bell icon when I go live, which is never.
You realize
But
that
do
Crash
stick
may have
around. We've got
collected
Super
all the
Mario
crystals,
64,
but he
120
doesn't
star.
have
That's
the
going to be
chance.
awesome.
With the
And
gems,
any percent
we
Hollow
can
Knight,
resurrect the masks one last
major
time.
glitches, which is going to be
Destroy
awesome.
that Bandicoot
Shout outs
once
to
and
my
for
Discord
all.
if you're watching too. Woo PAX. Thanks a bunch, guys.